Okay, for this next video I'm going to show you something a little more advanced, using latex this time. First step you want to do is, of course, pick you out a piece of skin that you're going to put it on. Now I'll admit mine's a little irritated from pulling the collodion off. You have to use 99% alcohol to break that down, and I'll admit all I have is 70% right now. So it did take a little bit of a scrubbing, so to speak, to get the collodion off. That particular product does stick very well. But anyway, I'm going to show you an acid burn. Now this is obviously a little more advanced than just what I showed you earlier. But first you want to apply a couple layers of latex. Best with a sponge and, you know, some liquid latex. And just apply that over the area that you're intending to do your burn on. And you want to do this, I don't know, good 4 or 5 times to that general area and let it dry, because you're going to want to build up a decent layering to it. And after we do this, you know, you see how it's applied and it's got to dry. And like I said, you do that about 4 or 5 times. Once it's all completely dry, then you do the rest of it. And I'll be right back with that. Okay, now that you got your 4 or 5 layers of latex on there and it's fully dry, first and foremost, if you're allergic to latex, obviously don't do this. I recommend a product called Skin Tight. It's silicone. Maybe in the future I'll get around to showing you some of that. I've got some of it here in the studio. Otherwise, also make sure you're not putting any latex over any hairy spots. Trust me, you don't want to do that. It hurts. Also, other than that, as you can see, before I go to put any makeup on there, it is kind of shiny in the light, as it should be. I mean, acid burn is going to irritate the skin, so don't feel, you know, don't be ashamed because you didn't cover up all the latex. Some shine is good. Again, going back with the Ben Bruise Wheel, I'm going to go in with a smattering of yellow and red, because after all, acid burns would be quite nasty. So we're going to go in there with a little yellow, and now a smattering of red. And remember, as I said before, less is more. Less is more. Can't stress it enough. Because I've seen people do some makeups that are a little over the top, and when that happens, needless to say, you start looking like a clown. And that's not what we're going after here. We're going for realism. Alright, now that your latex is kind of covered up with a smattering of yellow and red, as it would want to be, now, I mean, you can use your finger, you can use a small pen. I'm sitting here in my studio, so I'm kind of grabbing a sculpting tool with a hook thing on it. But now you want to get up in the camera, or, well, in my case, in the mirror, and you want to pick small holes in the latex. Not very big ones, but believable enough that it looks like a blister. Now, you can also do this with your finger, because where the latex is not powdered, it's gonna kind of stick to itself a little bit. But yeah, feel free to pick at it, get you know, some bubbles in there. It's kind of gnarly looking, huh? Yeah. But yeah, pick it up here and there, get you some Yeah, this is a little time consuming. And as previously stated, I'm sorry I don't talk much when I'm doing makeup. It's okay to pull some of it completely off, because that makes it believable that you've got a blister that broke. And yes, you are kind of pulling some of the makeup off, you know, that you put on with the sponge a minute ago, but it's not going to matter, because it's best to go ahead and get that on there. That way you're not trying to get it around the makeup. So yeah, kind of gnarly, I know. Looks like you're picking at the meat off your own face. But Acidburn would be more of a chemical type burn, as one can imagine. So it wouldn't be crispy like that 3rd degree one I did earlier. Plus, you can feel free to kind of pinch your skin up and stuff too, because the latex is going to cause it to kind of stick and adhere. Ooh, got too much of a line right there. Break that up a little. But remember, less is more, and that's pretty groovy right there. All right, now you could, if you wanted to, go in there with a lot greater, you know, some darker colors, like, for example, well, I guess I will do it. Q-tip works just fine. Some brown out of this bruise wheel is just fine, but go in there where you picked it out, kind of hit it with a little brown, just a little, not much, because it just gives the illusion that it's a little darker in there than just red. And you can feel free to, you know, poke at it some with the remaining makeup. Just that way it kind of helps blend everything else in. Okay. Now that you got a little extra color in there, to give it a little depth, we're going to go in and add some thick blood. Now, the thick blood is going to serve 2 purposes. One, it's going to help some very special makeup stuff adhere, as well as give the definitive idea that this is bad. No, you also have something that you ain't got to worry about so much as being perfect. I mean, trauma's, no injury is ever like perfect or anything. So, alright, now that you got the thick blood on there, obviously giving the impression that you're oozing and whatnot. Now, at the same time, as I've stated a couple times already, less is more. So kind of pat it out, because you just want some 3D relief. Okay. And then finally, whoop, let's not leave. It's never a good idea. Leave the lid off your thick blood. It's already thick. You don't want it drying out. So, okay. Now that you got the lid back on that, and it's already starting to look pretty gnarly, Now you want to get a very special product that we use in theater, and you want to kind of pack this in the wounds where you can. Now, when I say pack it in the wounds, we're going to pat it off again in just a moment before we get too busy here. Now, I'll admit, this it works okay in the haunted house, you know, but this trick best works on TV or in a movie, indie film, what have you. Okay. Really, this is not so much of a special product, I gotta admit. It's more it's Alka-Seltzer. You'd be surprised how many food products, this, that, and the other are used to do this type of thing. Okay. Alright, now that you got the makeup up there, it looks pretty bloody and whatnot. Now you can make this, you can activate it with fake blood, it works okay. But a little spritzing of water always works, and, you know, there we go. There we go. Now, I'm sure you can see the Alka-Seltzer reacting in the makeup, and it looks like the acid's actually still burning into my skin. I'm all oozing. It's pretty gnarly. Now, you can, you know, of course, throw more at it if you really wanted to. Now we're starting to make a mess, you know. But anyway, just to as you can see, as it's reacting with your face, and that makes for a pretty believable acid burn. And again, thanks for watching. Keep an eye on us, Outre Studios.